guys, since I'm not there today, we're going to do a video together. Make sure you write your name first. Name. Okay. Let's go over this. These are the 6 formulas on EOC that they will not give you. You have to have them memorized. So let's go over them real quick. Slope-intercept formula, we should know. We've learned that since 7th grade. That's our y equals mx plus b. All right. Point slope is not technically this, but for y'all, this is what you have. This is how you know how to find slope if there are 2 points. So this is how to find slope if there are 2 points. Standard form of slope would be this guy right here. AX plus BY equals C. Vertex formula for quadratics is this right here, which is what you learned on Friday, that negative b over 2a. Standard form of quadratics is what we've been using to find our factors and our zeros. That's here. And then today we're going to actually learn the quadratic formula, which is this, which is the song. Annabella, come here. The song is negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac. All over 2a. All over 2a. So this formula plus all of these have to be memorized. Thank you for the kiss. On EOC. So here we go. It might cut out in the middle. So if it cuts out in the middle, I'll just go make another video for y'all to add on to. So we're going to try to factor this problem first. And so y'all have been doing that. So if we look right here, we know it has to equal 0, which it doesn't. So of course we're going to subtract the 2x on this side. And then the match to this x is this x. So we're going to subtract 2x here as well. 2 over here is a constant, which is a number by itself, and there's not 1 over here. So what we can do is we can take our 4x squared down. We can do our 5 minus 2x, which of course is 3x. And then so this canceled. To get rid of this positive 2, we would subtract 2. Well, there's nothing to subtract it from, so it's going to stay a negative 2. And now we have it equaling 0. So if we try to factor this, which I've been doing that X method, which is our A, our B, and our C. Our A times our C goes at the top, and our B goes at the bottom, and then we divide by our A. Well, there is nothing that you can multiply for factors to get a negative 8, but then add together to get a 3. So sometimes when this happens, what you're going to do is you're going to use the quadratic formula. And it's super important that you have your A, B, and C equal to 0. As long as you're equal to 0, you can factor and or use the quadratic formula or completing the square or whatever else I'm going to teach you. So step 1 is to make sure you have the equation equal to 0. Check. Step 2, write the appropriate letters over the numbers. Check. Step 3, plug in the numbers. So the easiest way to do this for this formula is to set it up like this. So the song is negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay? So our original equation said 4x squared plus 3x minus 2 equals 0. So this is our A, this is our B, this is our C. And you're going to hear me sing this song a lot, and obviously I have a bad voice. You will be perfectly fine. Your ears will not start to bleed. So here we go. Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared. So both of these are our b. So this is our b right here, which is a plus 3. So I'm going to put it right here, and I'm going to put it right here. Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac. So A goes here, C goes here. A goes here, C goes here. All over 2A. Here's our A. And this is why I said to make sure you had those graphing calculators, because you're going to actually use them today. So as long as you have your graphing calculator, you should be good to go. So this is a negative outside, which is the same thing as a negative 1 times a 3. And that's going to give us a negative 3 plus or minus the square root. 3 squared is 9, okay? Now, if you have your graphing calculator, what you're going to enter in the calculator is this. 3 squared minus 4ac. You're not going to enter the square root button. You leave that alone completely. But this is what you would enter in your calculator, okay? So if you have your graphing calculator, you enter it exactly like that. If you don't, you're going to have to do it more by hand. And no, you can't go use mine. I hit them. So if you have your graphing calculator, you would enter it exactly like this, and it'll spit out an answer. If not, you're going to have to do it. So here we go. 3 squared is 9. 4 and negative 4, these two make negative 16. Times negative 2, 2 negatives make a positive, and 16 times 16 would be a 32. Plus a 32 over 2 times 4, which is, of course, 8. Okay? So now I have negative 3 plus or minus a square root, and 9 plus 32 is 41 all over 8. And this is as far as I want you to get today because I'm not there. We'll break it down a little bit more, but for now, this is where we're going to stop. If this was a perfect square, we would take the perfect square off. But there is not a perfect square of 41, so we're going to go on to the next problem. Okay? Belly, what you doing?
I'm doing what?
Okay. All right, so here's our equation. And if you notice, let's see if I can bring it in. Nope, can't. All right. So if you notice, we have our equation. So we have a 1x squared. And notice I just put a 1 right there. Plus 10x minus 2. And I'm going to go label A, B, and C. And of course it equals 0. Did you finish your spelling words? No, you didn't. Finish all of them. Nope, finish all of them. Even the page you don't want to do. I know, my kids don't want to do their homework either. All right, so now we're going to plug it in. We're going to sing the song. Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared. So these two will be your b every single time. And in this case, our b is 10. So we're going to plug a 10 in here. We're going to plug a 10 in here. Okay? Minus 4ac. AC. All over 2a. Yes, Bella. Good job. So this is the same thing as a negative 1 times 10, which would give us negative 10, plus or minus the square root. 10 squared. Now, if you have your calculator, again, if you have your calculator, you would type in your calculator 10 squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 2. This is for a graphing calculator that I asked you to bring to class. If not, you're going to do it by hand. So 10 squared is a 100. Negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. And negative 4 times negative 2 is 2 negatives make a positive, so it's positive 8. All over 2 times 1, which is 2. So now I have negative 10 plus or minus the square root of 108. And of course, that's not a perfect square. I didn't make you memorize that one. So therefore, you can't take the square root of it over 2. And then we're going to leave it alone for today. That's as good as I need you to get for today. Okay? So let's go do this next one. Again, we're going to put a 1. And if I notice, I have a 4x over here, but there's no x over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract the 4x on this side, and I'm going to move it over here somewhere. But I can't subtract it from here, and I can't subtract it from here. So I'm just going to rewrite the equation. 1x squared comes down. Negative 4x goes behind it, because remember, highest exponent is to lowest. And then our constant 11 is at the end. These would cancel, and of course now it equals 0. And I'm going to label my A, my B, and my C. Okay? And then I'm going to plug it in. Bella, what's the formula? Negative plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac.
All over 2a.
That's right. All right, so you're going to sing the song a whole bunch of times. So for right now, it helps you to write the formula. I can tell you now, they do not give you this on the test. You don't get any formula, so you have to have this formula memorized. So negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And then we're going to plug in our b's. So in this case, our b is negative 4. So I'm going to actually, even though this says negative and this says negative, this negative goes inside the parentheses. So negative 4 here and negative 4 here. Our a in this case is a 1, so it goes here and here. And then our c in this case is a negative 11.